Right, I feel so unprepared. Why do I feel so unprepared?
और बता क्या हाल चाल। 25 एपिसोड हो गए।
Hmm, that's quite a lot. It's
Ac- yes,
I mean
it
हाँ बोल.
इट्स ऑल्सो कोइंसिडेंस कि अभी 2 दिन पहले जो मैं ट्रिप में गया जिसका मैं बात करूंगा मैं इसमें, वो उस ओकेशन में था कि मेरे पेरेंट्स की 25th एनिवर्सरी थी। एंड दिस इज ऑल्सो द 25th एपिसोड।
Uh, I feel like we should be somewhere around uh, uh, completing our 1 year since we started, right?
हाँ, आई थिंक इसी कई मार्च में शायद शुरू करा था क्या हमने।
Yeah, I'm trying to look into that. Huh. Yeah, it has been really fun, I would say. Wait. March, no, actually, next month.
अप्रैल में भी लास्ट में ऑलमोस्ट
Yeah, yeah,
मई के स्टार्ट।
April, the last one. Yeah. हाँ, वो इस चीज को फिर रोमांटिसाइज तभी करेंगे. Let's let it go for now. Uh, so, Uddu, how were your weeks?
I went on a trip.
Hmm.
That was that was the only highlight, I guess.
Uh, so you went on a picnic with your parents and you went to the same spot like we went to, like when you have been
Uh,
there and I've gone there with you.
th- that was the second stop. Like we uh, stayed at a resort, which was about 30 kilometers from that spot.
Hmm.
Okay, should I talk about the trip right away, or do you have any other thing you want to
I
start
mean,
with?
you can talk about the trip.
Hmm. तो हम 3 लोग गए थे, मैं मम्मी पापा। एंड इन द बिगनिंग ऑफ द ट्रिप, क्योंकि मेरी मम्मी को कमर में दिक्कत है, तो हमारे पास 2 कार्स है, राइट। एक मेरे पापा की कार, एक मेरे मामा की कार है। एंड मेरे मामा के शॉकअप्स बेटर है, सो वी डिसाइडेड दैट वी शुड टेक मेरे मामा की कार। एंड क्योंकि मेरा एक्सपीरियंस ज़्यादा है उसको चलाने का, इसलिए आई वॉज द वन ड्राइविंग।
Oh,
सो यहाँ से उस स्पॉट तक का अराउंड मतलब करीब 4 to 5 आवर्स का ड्राइव है। सो आई ड्रोव फॉर 5 आवर्स
how is it
कंटिन्यूसली।
driving with your parents?
लाइक मेरी मम्मी तो ठीक है, मेरे पापा थोड़े अनोइंग है। कि वो बोलते कि हाँ यहाँ से ले लो ना, यहाँ से कर्व ला के ओवरटेक ले लो ना, यहाँ पे घुसा दो ना यहाँ पे कॉन्स्टेंटली।
Hmm.
एंड ही जनरली ड्राइव्स अ लिटिल फास्ट देन आई डू। तो वो पूरे टाइम ऐसे रेस्टलेस होते रहते हैं इफ आई एम ट्रेलिंग बिहाइंड अ व्हीकल, इवन दो लाइक इवन इफ आई एम गोइंग एट 80 माइल्स 80 किलोमीटर पर आवर, he would be like नहीं हमारे सामने कोई गाड़ी नहीं होना चाहिए, if there is a vehicle ahead of you you must overtake it। उनकी ये मेंटालिटी रहती है for some reason।
Uh, yeah, I think something uh, passengers. I guess there's a passenger civic sense. There's something they don't realize a lot of the times that there's no one perfect way of driving. People have their own styles of driving, depending on how they like to drive and also their skill level. Uh,
तो आई गेस दिस वाज माय फर्स्ट लॉन्ग ड्राइव। अभी तक की मेरे ऐसे सिटी के अंदर ड्राइव करा था मैंने मेनली। एंड
Hmm.
हाँ, इट वाज नाइस ड्राइविंग
Oh.
ऑन द हाईवे। I won't say I enjoy driving, but
Hmm.
like it was a nice experience.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Do you drive stickless or uh, was it a
हाँ,
hmm.
by stickless you mean कि gearless
Hmm.
car है or what?
Hmm.
Yeah, it is a
Automatic?
gearless. Yeah.
Hmm. Ah, I mean, I personally I like automatic cars. The, the sticks feel
Same.
like a hassle.
हाँ, I think over time अब सब move हो जाने चाहिए automatic because I don't see the point of using manual gear
Ah,
other than if you are used to it. Like that is the only reason why you would want that.
I mean, there are people hung up. I sort of can like I don't truly understand the romanticization of the stick, but I can understand where they come from as long as they don't try to tell you that it's a superior way of driving. Which, which, uh, uh, yeah, that's when they start getting weird about it. Um,
Hmm.
although it, an interesting thing that I have noticed is recently that even some of the like really people who are really enthusiastic about cars and driving have gradually sort of started accepting the automatic thing because they find it more relaxing. Uh, I mean, you have driven in the city, I guess, and city के भी अंदर uh, manual gears के साथ drive करना that can be really frustrating, I guess.
हाँ. When I learned driving, I used to drive with the like geared cars है. वो तो सीखने के बाद I मामा की कार में स्विच करा जो ऑटोमेटिक है. And yeah, जैसे हर थोड़ी देर में स्टॉप होना, then you have to like if you're not used to it then you have to focus right कि हाँ गियर स्विच करना है, कौन से गियर में है, कहाँ हाथ मूव करना है. If you are like driving for years then I don't think it would be a problem, but like as a learn for the learning curve it's quite a hassle
Yeah,
कि उस पे भी attention देना है और ट्रैफिक पे भी देना है.
yeah. I don't think I'm used to it. I have if I'm driving with manual gears, I have to actively think about it.
Hmm.
How was the trip?
Hmm. ठीक है, तो हम अबाउट 4 to 5 hours की ड्राइव करके एक जगह पहुंचे. अ, वो नर्मदा नदी के किनारे पे एक रिसॉर्ट था. अम, तो पहले हम अपना सामान वामान रखे रूम में. एंड रूम के सामने मतलब कैसे क्या बोलेंगे उसको, व्हाट डू वी कॉल इट, एक एरिया था बट एनक्लोज्ड एरिया था, मतलब वो ओपन में नहीं था, वो शेड लगा हुआ था और आगे से क्लोज था, लाइक नॉट इन द व्यू ऑफ अदर्स. और एक उसमें छोटा सा मिनी पूल बना हुआ था जिस पे उनने क्लीन अप करके उसके अंदर पानी भर दिया. लगून सॉर्ट ऑफ, हैव यू सीन लगून्स?
Hmm.
हाँ. तो लाइक इट इज सपोज टू बी अ पर्सनल स्विमिंग पूल कि हाँ वहीं पे यू कैन टेक अ डिप. एंड वो लंबा वाला जो लगा रहता है लेटने वाला. But it seems such a terrible idea because
What the
you
hell
know
is
how
a
in swimming,
lagoon? Have
wait, look it up. I mean उसका नाम था जिसमें हम रुके थे, उसका नाम लगून था, so I'm assuming it's
if you when search gets showing me certain kinds of water bodies.
like, but if you look up Lagoon Resort, नहीं, never mind, this is not what I mean. Anyway, उनने उसका नाम उनने लगून रखा था हमारे रूम का. That's why I was thinking maybe it is called that, but apparently not. uh,
Hmm.
पर ठीक है. द पॉइंट वाज कि हाँ, छोटा सा एक खुद का पर्सनल मिनी पूल होगा हर रूम के पास. बट इट सीम्स लाइक सच अ टेरिबल आइडिया, बिकॉज इफ यू नो द स्विमिंग पूल होता है उसमें कॉन्स्टेंटली पानी साइकिल होता रहता है कि नीचे से पानी वो आता रहता है, जो ऊपर का पानी सरफेस का वो सीप होते जाता है उसके अंदर, ड्रेन के अंदर, एंड इट्स गेटिंग कॉन्स्टेंटली रिसाइकल्ड एंड चेंज्ड. दैट इज नॉट व्हाट वाज हैपनिंग देयर इन द मिनी पूल. उसमें उनने बस उसको थोड़ा सा क्लीन अप करा एंड पानी भर दिया, एंड द वाटर वाज नॉट गेटिंग फिल्टर्ड और चेंज्ड एट ऑल.
Hmm.
तो मतलब उसी में पूरे मच्छर के अंडे वगैरह दे रहे, कीड़े मकोड़े आ रहे हैं, and you are supposed to take a dip in it. I don't think anyone would ever do that.
Did you?
ऐसे ही लग नहीं, किसी ने नहीं किया.
That sounds gross.
हाँ.
Hmm.
आई मीन उसमें रिसोर्ट में था पूल जिसमें मेरे पापा नहाए थे, आई गेस जाके बाद में. मेरी को इच्छा नहीं थी स्विम करने की, मैं नहीं करा. एंड फर्स्ट डे पे हम कितने बजे पहुंचे थे, शाम को करीब 5-6 बजे. एंड फिर हम, क्योंकि हम नर्मदा किनारे थे तो वो होटल, आई मीन वो रिसोर्ट का खुद ही वो बोटिंग सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड कर रहे थे. दैट वाज विद इन आवर एक्टिविटीज कि हम फ्री में कर सकते हैं वो. तो वी वेंट फॉर बोटिंग इन द रिवर. दैट रिवर इज क्वाइट नाइस. उसमें अच्छा सारा पानी था. हेलो, तेरा
हाँ,
हुआ
तो
क्या?
थोड़ा disconnect हुआ. But I did hear you. That river was quite nice.
हाँ.
Hmm.
आफ्टर दैट बोटिंग सेशन वी वर जस्ट वॉकिंग, आई गेस, वहीं पे रिसोर्ट में. इट वाज, आई गेस, अ नाइस प्लेस, क्योंकि वो नदी किनारे था इसलिए देयर वाज लाइक पूरे गार्डन अच्छे बड़े बड़े मेंटेन करके रखे थे. देयर वाज ग्रीनरी.
You stayed there for a night.
यस.
Hmm.
फूड
How?
वाज टेरिबल.
I,
व्हाट वाज
I was
दैट?
asking about the boating. What kind of boating was that? वो paddle वाली?
नहीं नहीं, हम बोट नहीं कर रहे थे, वो बड़ी सी बोट थी. एंड वी हैड वो एक जो नहीं होता जो मोटर चलाते हैं, मैनेज करते हैं उसको.
I think, yeah, you have some problems with your internet with though. You,
हाँ, I tried switching it. Wait, did it switch? It did not switch. Wait a second. Is it better now?
I mean,
Should
I
be
don't
better
know.
now.
वो बीच बीच में थोड़ा अटकता है. अभी तो ठीक है.
हाँ.
होगा कुछ तो मैं बता दूंगा. Anyway, uh, what were you saying about the boating?
हाँ, हम मतलब पैडल वाली बोट नहीं थी, वो मोटर वाली बोट थी. एंड वो साथ में असिस्टेंट टाइप के जो नहीं होते हैं, विच
Hmm.
मैनेज कि कहाँ बोट ले जाना है, ऑल दैट. और वो बड़ी वाली बोट थी कि एक साथ मल्टीपल फैमिलीज
Uh,
आ सके.
nice,
तो लाइक दे हैड
nice.
अ 1 hour विंडो, 5 to 6 p.m., जिसमें दे विल टेक मल्टीपल ट्रिप्स फ्रॉम रिसोर्ट टू द रिवर.
Hmm.
एंड हाँ, उसी में आके लाइक यू कैन गेट ऑन इट एंड गेट इट बोटिंग. एंड हाँ, फिर रात में हमने वहाँ पे उनका एक वो था गेमिंग कॉम्प्लेक्स टाइप, स्पोर्ट्स कॉम्प्लेक्स,
टी खेला तो.
जिसमें लाइक यस, टेबल टेनिस था, कैरम था, चेस था, फिर पूल था. और एक वो वाला गेम था, वो टेबल पे वो जो फुटबॉल टाइप का नहीं होता, आई डोंट नो व्हाट टू कॉल इट,
Foosball.
ऐसे घुमाते हैं. हाँ, फुटबॉल.
Foosball. Hmm.
यस यस. वहाँ पे और भी फैमिलीज थी, तो लाइक पूल टेबल और फुटबॉल ऑक्यूपाइड था, कैरम भी ऑक्यूपाइड था. तो हम टेबल टेनिस ही खेले, मैं, पापा, मेरी मम्मी भी खेली एक्चुअली
Hmm.
table tennis, and she was surprisingly good at it, like for her playing for the first time.
Hmm, that's good.
मतलब मैं जितने लोगों के साथ खेला हूँ, like the first time they played they struggle a lot to pass the ball or make the serve. Somehow she was really good at it, like ऐसे कंटिन्यूअसली वो प्रॉपरली रिटर्न कर पा रही थी मेरे को पूरा फ्रंट हैंड बैक हैंड दोनों से. मे बी शी हैज प्लेड बिफोर, आई डोंट नो. मेरे साथ तो पहली बार ही खेली.
Secretly been training for years until she gets the chance to show off her skills. Um, you're talking about the resort, and like, I used to travel a lot with my family जब मैं छोटा था. मेरे पापा को घूमना बहुत पसंद है, so we went on a lot of trips. Uh, my favorite parts of those trips were usually the hotels.
What did you like? Like, what did you look for in hotels?
I don't know, uh, it just feels very okay. Maybe it's a matter of what the alternative, which is to पूरे दिन travel इधर से उधर जाके itinerary कंप्लीट करने की कोशिश करते रहना, वो देख क्या वो देख क्या, which I, I'm completely disinterested in. तो उसके contrast में a hotel is nice and relaxing. That's an aspect of vacation, right? So the two aspects of vacation broadly, I guess, एक is relaxation and the other is exploration, adventure वगैरह.
Hmm.
Uh, so I really just like पहले तो I liked uh, my मेरे पापा भी was very I think he looked into hotels a lot when he was planning the trip. Uh, to, and he always wants to go to interesting hotels, so interesting locations में हैं. And hotels can be quite unique in how they're made. Uh, it's just like being there, being in a hotel with my brother. It was fun.
Do you have any particular experience you remember of any hotel?
Uh, Really, because again, it's not a matter of something standing out, right? It's
Hmm.
uh relaxation or
One.
and
Uh-huh.
like yeah, I just also weirdly used to look forward to whatever uh the morning buffet has to offer.
Hmm. For me, I have two particular hotels like which were unique. पहली तो एक when I went to गुजरात trip,
Hmm.
मेरे नाना नानी भी गए थे और मामा भी गए थे और मम्मी थी.
Hmm.
अ, वहाँ पे डेजर्ट पे क्या नाम था उसका, थार डेजर्ट, क्या नाम, नहीं कच्छ कच्छ कच्छ, वो रान ऑफ कच्छ, हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट इट, जो पूरा सॉल्ट का डेजर्ट है.
Yes. Run.
हाँ, वहाँ पे
Not
एक
run. Run.
रण, ओके, वहाँ पे एक होटल, मतलब होटल नहीं बोलेंगे इसको, आई डोंट नो व्हाट टू कॉल इट, सॉर्ट ऑफ अ रिसॉर्ट. आई मीन पॉइंट उसका ये था कि जैसे यू हैव सीन लाइक जैसे नोमैड जैसे टेंट में रहते हैं इन डेजर्ट्स,
Hmm.
so that was the resort कि like it was a desert and you stay in the tents, and that was really cool for me. वो पूरा उनका सेटअप वहाँ पे,
Hmm.
लाइक इट वाज वो सीमेंट का नहीं बना था, इट वाज लिटरली मेड आउट ऑफ क्लॉथ का, वो पूरा प्रॉपर टेंट टाइप का बड़ा सा। एंड रात में लाइक सुबह टाइम एकदम गर्म होता है, रात को एकदम यू नो हाउ डेजर्ट्स गेट कोल्ड, वैसे ही पूरा कोल्ड हो जाता है वो। एंड व्हाट दे डू इज दे पुट अ कैंप फायर पूरा बड़ा सा बीच में उनके रिसोर्ट के, एंड ऑल द फैमिलीज वुड कम टुगेदर देयर एंड रिलैक्स,
हम्म।
which was really nice.
हाँ,
Yeah.
दूसरा।
एंड दूसरा मैं जब जम्मू कश्मीर गया था, एंड वो झील के ऊपर फ्लोटिंग होटल थी, उसको क्या बोलते हैं,
फ्लोटिंग होते हैं।
फ्लोटिंग बोट, मतलब बोट के ऊपर रूम था, आई डोंट नो व्हाट इट
Oh,
इज कॉल्ड।
that's a memorable experience for me too, but तू खत्म कर।
हाँ, आई मीन दैट्स इट, उसमें ऐसे आई डोंट नो व्हाट टू से कि हाँ वही बोट के ऊपर रहती है, एंड वही, अच्छा, इट वाज अमेजिंग उसमें रुकना। आई डोंट रिमेम्बर पर्टिकुलरली एनीथिंग अबाउट इट,
हाँ,
बट इट वाज नाइस।
do you remember reading about boat houses in Kerala बचपन में? बुक्स में होता है, टेक्स्ट बुक्स में।
हाँ हाँ हाँ
uh,
हाँ हाँ।
is it similar to that?
यस यस, बेसिकली वही है बोट हाउस टाइप।
uh, I, I had I also uh, stayed in a boat house in Kerala uh, overnight, and वो एक river के through it was जा रहा था वो पूरे टाइम, and and वहीं पर we had seafood, and it was really really nice. मेरे इतनी कुछ बहुत ज़्यादा vivid memory नहीं है उसकी. Kerala is a place that I would love to visit again, like without my parents.
I would like to visit it too. I've never been there. Like I've quote unquote visited it when I was a toddler, but of course I don't remember anything.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Mhm.
okay, so back to my trip. टेबल टेनिस हो गया, आई मीन ओके हाँ, उसके पहले हम वो भी गए थे, लाइक यू रिमेम्बर मैं फोटोज भेजा था अलग ही क्लिक क्लिक करने वाली।
Uh, yeah.
हाँ हाँ, तो वो एक स्ट्रीम थी, रिवर स्ट्रीम जो आके नदी में मिल रही थी, विच वाज जस्ट बिसाइड द रिसॉर्ट। एंड हम तो बस एक जगह पे बैठे हुए थे फॉर दैट डे, बिकॉज वो थोड़ा लेट हुआ था शाम में, इट वुड नॉट बी गुड टू गो फॉर एक्सप्लोरेशन,
Hmm.
तो वहीं पे बैठे हुए थे थोड़ी देर तक। बट द नेक्स्ट डे इन द मॉर्निंग मेरे पापा स्विमिंग के लिए चले गए थे, एंड आई डिड नॉट वांट टू स्विम। मैं बोल के आया कि मैं जा रहा हूँ, मेरे को वो स्ट्रीम और एक्सप्लोर करनी है, एंड आई वेंट ऑन एन एडवेंचर।
Hmm.
दैट वाज द हाईलाइट फॉर मी फॉर दैट ट्रिप,
Oh.
just walking along that river stream.
Hmm.
I mean ठीक है, ये जस्ट रिसॉर्ट के बाजू में था, बट इट वाज स्टिल सो इंटरेस्टिंग। आई वंडर हाउ इट वुड बी टू एक्सप्लोर अ लाइक फॉरेस्ट और अ रिवर स्ट्रीम, जहाँ जो इतना वो नहीं हो, मतलब इतने पब्लिक के पास में नहीं हो, अनएक्सप्लोर्ड टाइप का एरिया में, इट
Hmm.
वुड बी मोर फन।
You sound like a great hiking buddy.
आई वुड लाइक टू गो फॉर हाइकिंग मैन।
आदमी को हाइकिंग पे केव दिखी, फिर वो कभी वापस नहीं दिखा.
Oh, talking about caves, we did have that cave diving uh, whole thing going on in between.
Well, like you're
What are you
talking about the conversations you were having with Varun.
Yes,
Mm.
he does not seem particularly accepting of going on a trip, like on going on cave diving. But what about you?
Um, I mean, it sounds Like it's fun to do that, and I'm not opposed to it. Is it also called spelunking? Is spelunking and cave diving the same thing? I'm not sure.
Spelunking. Spelunking.
S- Uh,
Oh, it does look exactly uh, like cave diving, I guess.
but
I
in
think
दोनों के
cave diving in particular
oh
means
wait,
like
no.
using
No, no, no. Cave diving is a different word. Actually, we have been using the wrong word, I think. मुझे शुरू में ये confusion हुआ था. I
हाँ
think cave diving refers to mostly uh, actually diving in water
हाँ.
bodies inside a cave.
Okay, then I'm not interested in that. I'm more interested in spelunking, I guess.
Yeah, though. I I'm like I'm not opposed to it as long as it's safe. But it's I I would by safe I mean what I mean is that I would not crawl into any place. I won't go anywhere with जहाँ पे it seems feels dicey कि उसके yeah. Would you crawl into spaces?
I mean, it does look quite extreme, but like it is enticing, I guess.
It does not
Like to
feel
overcome that.
enticing to me. There are other ways to overcome fear of things. There are other ways to experience those feelings.
But look at those caves. Like you can't get to those places without like taking this much risk. I mean, that's part of the experience, right? You get to some unexplored regions of the cave by like doing those extreme crawling.
Like,
क्या
okay,
बोलेंगे उसको?
okay, I'll give you a comparison. There's hiking, right? That's usually climbing up a mountain. Usually. Uh, and that too, to a degree, can be like, you don't sort of like exploratory or go pretty much going into a mountain, and even though you have a destination in mind, you still like sort of going about it in an exploratory manner. You, as long as spelunking feels like hiking, I'm good with that. I don't want any sort of thrill from spelunking. That's what I'm saying.
Uh, have you seen any videos of spelunking?
Years ago.
I
And
would recommend you like
they were all about
yeah.
people getting stuck and dying miserably.
I mean like ठीक है वो I think उसको that's a thing, but I don't think it is good to only watch that and judge spelunking from just that. To
I will tell you what does sound fun to me. I mean, which is pretty much the feeling that I'm talking about. You remember that guy who lives in a ghost town?
हाँ
उसका वीडियो शेयर किया था मैंने. He has a YouTube channel, and he lives around an old abandoned mine, and wo and he sometimes likes to like go into those mines just to explore around, and that sounds fun to me. Like not
yeah that is exactly what I find fun too. I'm not that like okay, even if I try to act like it just to like tease Varun, I'm not actually any sort of thrilled by taking like by risking my own life, and like I don't find that fun, that idea.
hmm, yeah.
मेन पार्ट वही एक्सप्लोरेशन का कि लाइक इफ यू लुक इनटू द पीपल हु लाइक डू स्पेलंकिंग, तू भी देखेगा कि दे आर एक्चुअली नॉट लाइक दैट interested in that thrill either. They're mostly interested in the formations inside the cave.
Hmm.
जो like the deeper you go into the cave, the more extreme formations you will find. That's the thing
What do you
because
mean
वहाँ
by
के minerals
extreme?
अलग, हाँ क्योंकि लाइक उसकी मिनरल्स का डिपोजिशन अलग होता है जनरली जितना अंदर तक जाता है, एंड इट लाइक क्रिस्टल फॉर्मेशन जनरली होता है वहाँ पे अलग अलग टाइप का, एंड लाइक इट रिजल्ट्स इन रियली रियली कूल things. Like even if you like look up spelunking and scroll down, you can see some of them.
Another
Uh,
thing I guess that's interesting about spelunking is the environment and how different it is from the usual environment we are in. Like we always, almost always have an access to uh, natural light. Uh, the things are pretty much always a little illuminated, and within a cave, you have to solve. I feel like it's similar to the feeling I would get if like a building was completely closed down with no artificial lights. Still feels like a very unique feeling to me, and also the isolation just going on in there with your personal artificial light, which is essentially coming from you. There's no other light.
you remember कि as a kid, I think we have talked about it multiple times कि we used to love exploring our own school when we were in DPS. जब when we went there on the day off, और वही ऐसे ही abandoned, well, it was not abandoned but to empty school को explore करना कितना interest.
What did we used to do?
छुट्टी कोई छुट्टी का दिन था एंड हम हमको पता नहीं था कि उस दिन छुट्टी है और हम
Oh
फिर भी आ
right,
गए थे.
that was so weird. हमें बोला था remedials के लिए आना है और
हाँ.
कोई नहीं आया for some reason remedials के लिए
I
एंड
mean,
फिर हमें
and
बोला
when
कि
we say
नहीं है
कोई नहीं
क्लासेस
आया,
हमें कैसे नहीं पता चला
आई मीन पूरे स्कूल में हम सिर्फ दो जन आए थे, सिर्फ हम दो जन पूरे स्कूल में. दैट्स सो वाइल्ड. मतलब एक भी बच्चा नहीं जिसको और हमारा ज्यादा कंफ्यूजन हुआ. हाउ डज दैट हैपन?
हम्म बट
आई आई रिमेम्बर कि हमको मैम ने फिर भी पढ़ाया था, वो ज्योग्राफी वाली मैम ने.
पढ़ाया था सच में
हाँ, ये
I don't
सच.
have that memory. I don't have that. I remember I hated हमारी geography की teacher. I
वेट रियली?
yeah वो uh, पूर्णिमा मैम थी ना I think
हाँ
I
हाँ हाँ
hated her. She was very bubbly, right? She tried to be very
हाँ.
bubbly, and
Yes.
she uh, or she always felt very like that. Her bubbliness felt very fake and obnoxious to me, and
हाँ.
she felt like a pressure cooker waiting to just burst.
I mean, she did burst a few times. I remember she getting really, really angry in some of the classes जब लोग decorum maintain नहीं कर रहे थे बच्चे.
I did not like her at all. Even though I never really had any interactions with her that I personally remember.
Hmm.
But you say she taught us. That was the
I think, I think like
मुझे मैं मुझे जो मेमोरी याद है उस दिन की इस टू थिंग्स एक तो हम पूरे स्कूल में भाग भाग के पकड़म पकड़ाई खेल रहे थे
oh, yes.
uh, and the other thing was me trying to they us trying to sort of understand how कुछ तो weird equations कर रहे थे trying
हाँ
to
हाँ हाँ
understand relativity.
कुछ हाँ मतलब कहीं की भी इक्वेशन कहीं पे लगा के कुछ तो भी वी वर एक्टिंग लाइक
वाह, आई रिमेम्बर हमारी क्लास टीचर वहीं पे क्लास में बैठी हुई है, हम बोर्ड पे कुछ तो भी कर रहे हैं. like like this was pretty much the first time we were being exposed to physics, right? And we so like we came across these equations. Oh, and we were getting a really good sense of how it works. It was surprising how intuitive it felt. Okay, the equations in physics. Okay, I feel that like schools do a pretty good job at teaching that stuff.
I like really miss that actually being interested because I was particularly interested in physics, right? Even while preparing for JE,
Hmm.
physics was my favorite subject, and like when I got to college, physics chala gaya subject, and over time I started to forget जितना मैंने पढ़ा था physics के related, and like that was really sad for me.
Yeah,
Slowly forget. But like you don't follow the science channels and like the physics related या कुछ इस type की चीजें होती तू follow नहीं करता right?
it's not like uh what do you mean?
I mean जैसे अभी veritasium जैसे videos बनाता है science related.
I feel like that's uh I mean that's still relatively closer to what we study in school. His videos are still a little more academic. He tries to give you a sense of how I'm not like yeah, I watch them less now. It's not that I don't watch them at all. I watch them less now.
अभी recently उसका एक बहुत अच्छा video आया था
कुछ quantum
which was
mechanics related. Like
हाँ
I planning to watch it. It looked interesting. Have
yeah
you watched it?
yes मैं उसके videos आता है watch it on the same date is released like
Uh,
almost every time.
oh,
वेरिटाशियम हुआ कुड्स का गार्ड हुआ
that channel I do not like.
रियली
Uh, I
वाई
mean, I don't. I hate it. But it feels very uh, hollow.
हॉलो
It doesn't feel like it has anything to offer. Like it feels very shallow. It doesn't have a voice of its own. I don't know how to say. Like it's. I feel like a younger me, like when I was in my early teens, might have appreciated. Oh, उसके अलावा it feels very shallow. But I mean, I don't think they share any wrong information. I can see why people enjoy it. It's, they have an interesting presentation.
आई वुड से कि हाँ अभी कुछ टाइम से उनका कुछ भी इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियो नहीं आया है मतलब काफ़ी टाइम से उनकी स्टार्टिंग की वीडियोस यूज्ड टू बी क्वाइट इंटरेस्टिंग एंड डिटेल्ड बट फॉर अ व्हाइल इट हैज़ गॉन डाउनहिल
I'm really confused about what they actually make videos about. Like, are they like? I know they make philosophy and life related stuff, but I think they also make biology related stuff sometimes and
हाँ
science. It's
लाइक
confusing.
इट इज़ इंफॉर्मेशनल इट इज़ दैट्स नाइस बट आई थिंक उनके स्टार्टिंग में और इट यूज्ड टू बी क्वाइट well done. अभी ऐसे लग रहा है कि they are just putting out videos with very little, like much little, more little than they used to be.
I feel like my interest has like when consuming content on YouTube, it has interestingly shifted from having well produced videos like this where like it almost feels very corporate, something like Kurt's Kazats. Like I
Mm,
much prefer when it feels like it's more personal than that. Like when like I would
mm.
prefer somebody's just speaking to the camera instead of a
Yes,
highly produced.
that's exactly why I also follow Joe Scott. His his videos are exactly what you just described.
Hmm.
I think I've talked about it before. उसकी वीडियोस शेयर करा तुम लोग के साथ because they are generally really interesting.
What does he make videos about?
Science related mostly. Like it would be like Kurzka's art, but more personal and detailed. Like exactly what you just said.
Hmm. Sounds interesting. Hmm. Yeah. Did you cook anything on this picnic?
नहीं, क्योंकि हम रिसोर्ट में रुके थे तो हम बाहर ही खा रहे थे। पिकनिक वो वाली अलग टाइप की होती है, जनरली वो तब करते हैं जब ज़्यादा मेंबर्स होता है हमारे साथ।
Hmm.
अभी तो नहीं कुक करे।
I'll be honest, I really enjoyed the picnic with your family. That was a very unique experience for me. Hmm.
हाँ
Especially,
तो फिर
huh.
बोल बोल।
Yeah, I was just saying, especially when we were in school and still lively, we wanted to go explore अलग-अलग जगह.
I would say कि like you liked our picnic, but it's not like it would be the same अगर मैं तू नहीं जाता। I just went with my family because I think a big aspect of liking that picnic was the exploration part, which like I still went for exploration, right? कल की जो picnic trip थी उसमें भी मैं अकेले river side पे explore करने गया, which was fun, but it is many times more fun when you have somebody with you to explore.
I, I really enjoy weirdly like yeah, you are standing by a river, उसमें बहुत सारी rocks है, and you need to go from one point to another, and it's so fun to figure out how to get there. You have to make
Yeah.
risky jumps and stuff like that.
Actually, this जो stream मैं तेको दिखाया था, right, photos वगैरह, I did not cross that stream mainly because it was full of algae and I did not want to risk falling into it. If it did not have had algae, I was fine. बट उसमें इतनी ज्यादा एल्गी थी, उसमें मतलब पूरा उसका बेड भरा हुआ था एल्गी से।
Hmm.
एंड ऐसे ओकेजनली अगर हल्की से पानी से एल्गी फ्लो, मतलब पानी के फ्लो से एल्गी थोड़ी अलग हो गई, आई वुड स्पॉट अ क्रैब, लाइक इतना बड़ा बड़ा जाइंट
Oh.
क्रैब्स एंड स्टफ। आई वाज लाइक नो, आई डोंट वांट टू फॉल इनटू दिस स्ट्रीम।
Hmm. What else? What else?
Oh, I got attacked by birds while following that stream. I talked about it on our group chat.
Yeah, what happened?
पता नहीं उनको कोई नेस्ट रहा होगा, मैं आगे तक ऐसे करते करते बहुत आगे तक चला गया था रिवर स्ट्रीम को
Hmm.
फॉलो करते हुए, एंड एट सम पॉइंट ऐसे दो तीन चिड़िया जोर जोर से चर्प करने लग गई, और मेरे सर्कल पहले बात तो सर्कल कर रही थी पहले, देन इट वुड लाइक कम स्ट्रेट टू माय फेस ऐसे नोज टाइप करके। आई पिक्ड अप अ स्टिक, ऐसे लंबी सी छड़ी लेके उसको ऐसे दूर कर रहा था मैं।
There's this
फाइटिंग फॉर माय
Alfred
लाइफ।
Alfred
हाँ।
Hitchcock film. मैंने देखी नहीं है where like I think it's sort of a horror या फिर disaster film. It's called Birds. Birds attack करते हैं. It's not a good film from what I've heard. मगर I remember something similar from that. मैं जब इंदौर आया था पहली बार हादसों को लेके, से मैं बाहर वॉक कराने जाता था, You know those birds, like those freaky birds जो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम कहीं पेड़ पे या नहीं बैठी होती या फिर उड़ नहीं रही होती, खुली जमीन पे ऐसी चल रही होती है, पता नहीं
हाँ हाँ।
they started bullying Hatsu. वो उस,
उस
उसके पास पास से उड़ के जाते थे, वो बेचारा भौंकता रहता था, परेशान कर सकते।
हम्म। I
हाँ।
mean, they do a
हम्म
good job of scaring us. Like it's for sure that they cannot really hurt us. Like वो छोटी सी चिड़िया है, वो क्या ही hurt करेगी. But like the way they like flow so fast in front of your face, it's really scary, and like you have to run away. So it's quite effective in that way.
yeah,
I would assume कि उनका nest कहीं close by रहा होगा, and that's the whole purpose of why they do this.
I mean, yeah, yeah, so they look at you and say food. um hmm is that all from your trip? Did you drive back too?
हाँ, I mean हाँ, फिर नेक्स्ट डे हम उधर गए थे महेश्वर, जहाँ पे मैं तेरे साथ गया था, जो फोटो में शेयर करा था वहाँ पे.
Yeah, right.
एंड आई मीन उस वहाँ पे आई डिड नॉट लाइक दैट प्लेस, बिकॉज वहाँ पे पहले बात तो कोई शेड नहीं था, एकदम तेज धूप थी.
Hmm.
तो ऐसे ही बैठे हुए थे, कुछ कर नहीं रहे थे. बट जब हम वापस लौट रहे थे वहाँ से,
Hmm.
देन देयर वाज वहाँ पे एक लेडी थी जो गन्ने का जूस बेच रही थी. तो मेरे पेरेंट्स ने बोला कि वो जूस पियेंगे, मैंने कहा पी लो, मेरी इच्छा नहीं थी. बट शी वाज आल्सो सेलिंग लेमनेड, तो मैंने कहा कि ठीक है, लेमनेड बना दो. एंड फिर मैंने बोला कि बस लेमनेड में मसाला नहीं डालना. तो बोली मसाला नहीं डालो तो क्या डालूं इसमें फिर मैं. तो उनने मेरे को बुलाया. उनने बोला कि अच्छा तुम बताओ तुम्हें क्या क्या चाहिए इसमें, क्या नहीं चाहिए. तो मैं पूरा कस्टमाइज करके उनसे लेमनेड बनवाया कि हाँ इतनी शेव्ड आइस डालो उसमें, फिर इतनी चम्मच शक्कर डालो, फिर
Hmm.
इतना पीस ऑफ नींबू डालो. एंड लाइक इट वाज सो परफेक्ट. वो लेमनेड जो बना आखिर में, इट वाज सो गुड. एंड आई वाज थिंकिंग कि वी शुड डू दिस फॉर एवरीथिंग, कि कोई रेस्टोरेंट में जाओ एंड देयर शुड बी एन ऑप्शन कि तुम अपने किचन में जाके अपना खाना बनवा सकते हो खड़े होके, अपने हिसाब से कस्टमाइज करके.
Hmm. I think the
Like
restaurant would
this,
go bankrupt trying to do this.
I guess. But like it is this this it is so nice कि तुम अपने हिसाब के, अपने इंटरेस्ट के हिसाब से तुम you can customize the thing you are going to eat or drink. Uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
I guess that's part of the selling point of buffet, right? Ki you can have more of what you like and
I
skip
mean,
the other thing.
what? No, that's not the selling.
Like
No,
one of the selling
I
points.
think the selling point of a buffet is, I mean, one, it makes people feel like they're. I mean, I guess it's eating more for less money. I'm not
Is
sure
it
if that's true. It's buffets are supposed to be cheaper.
really like they
Uh,
are? I, like per person they're never less than 2 to 3,000 from what I've seen. And like if
two
you're
to
eating in a
three thousand.
restaurant, yes, I've never seen a buffet which is less than 2 to 3,000 rupees per person.
Buffet, the buffet food is usually, in my experience, worse than a la carte.
Worse than what?
A la carte, the alternative.
Uh,
And uh, and I do think that it's cheaper. You get
no, like it would be cheaper if you were actually ordering 15 different food items, but you never really do order 15 items. You generally only order 3 to 4 items, which would cost you less than 1,000 rupees per person. like almost
I
always.
I mean, like a buffet that is costing you like 2000 rupees. पहले तो मुझे समझ नहीं आया 2-3 हजार का buffet. Is it really that expensive? दूसरा
I mean, it
जहाँ
is
पर
2 to 3,000 buffet per person. If you are like three people, it is costing you 6,000 rupees.
उसके
And
uh,
if you are eating alone, do you ever spend like more than 1,000 rupees? Like even 1,000 rupees is much
but
above what you
I'm
usually
like
spend on your
I
food.
want you to compare uh, it to the a la carte in the same restaurant जहाँ पे तू 2-3 हजार का buffet खा रहा है.
I mean, हाँ वहाँ पे भी if you assume कि एक dish let's say 300 rupees की
थ्री
है which
हंड्रेड रुपीज
generally
की नहीं होती.
नहीं होती.
I wish if I'm thinking if like तू 2-3 हजार का buffet वाली जगह पे जा रहा है, that's
I have
slightly
भी जैसे मैं जिस
expensive, right?
रिसोर्ट पे गए अभी जिस रिसोर्ट में गया था वहाँ का खाना टेरिबल था बट फिर भी उनका बफे लाइक इट वाज लाइक 1200 पर पर्सन बट इंडिविजुअल आइटम्स वर लाइक 200 to 300.
Hmm, I'm not sure. Okay, let's leave that discussion, Abhi. That's not gonna go anywhere. Uh, what were we talking about?
uh, I don't remember either. How did we get to food?
I was actually like just casually I said after uploading it to YouTube, our podcast. Uh, like we also have this new banner, which I mean we this is the first episode we are recording after we actually have the banner. Hello. Hmm. Uh, and I really like that banner. Samiksha made that banner.
I really like it too. Like it is so amazing. I like when I first we finalized the design. Like I liked the design, but I was always a little unsure about how it will turn out.
Hmm.
But when I actually saw the final product, it like exceeded all my expectations, like by a long shot.
Hmm. I I I feel like I troubled Samiksha a lot for that. Like I was very nitpicky at times when she was making that final draft. Uh, but yeah, she made an amazing banner, and I was also like listening to the last episode you uploaded uh, on YouTube with Samiksha से काजू दिया उसको उसके सेक्शन सुना रहा था and uh, I realized listening to that you have a pretty good podcasting voice.
I do.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
your voice actually sounds nice and comforting and listening to the podcast.
I
I
do
mean,
not feel like that.
it's not just your voice; it's also your manner of speaking. It's very calm.
Like I couldn't disagree more. When I listen, every time I listen to our podcast, I really hate. Like even when I'm editing the podcast, I don't really like my own voice.
I feel like that's just everyone listening to their own voice. I don't like my voice either when I'm listening to it, even though I probably have an amazing voice.
Hmm. You
Um,
do.
thank you. Yeah, it was. Uh, yeah, that was it. Yeah, another. Hmm, I guess I did not do much this these past 2 weeks either. I've been really busy between uh, my classes and work uh, uh, and I think I've spent a lot of my free time just either playing board games with you guys or talking with some Samiksha.
Hmm.
Mm, one thing that I did do was I uh, talked with Sunana after a long time.
Oh.
Yes, I uh, that um, it's been yeah, a long time. Uh, uh, we decided to catch up a little, so
Hmm.
we were on a call last Saturday. Okay, I like this is a person I have uh, used to date, and uh, she was my first partner, right?
Hmm.
And I met her at a very, I guess, crucial stage in my life. How uh, I would still say I was very uh, up for molding. It is still, I would still consider it my developmental period, sort of.
Hmm.
Uh, and uh, she did have a huge impact on the kind of person I turned out to be. That she she is a person I genuinely respect a lot. I mean, I would say that probably the only person I have held in enough regard that I have looked up to them.
Hmm.
Uh, like as someone with qualities I want to acquire. Anyway, so outside that, the point I was trying to make was that outside just that relationship, that this is a person I respected a lot, and uh, uh, for a while it was really uncomfortable for me to have any interaction with her after uh, uh, we separated,
Hmm.
and we are and she seems to be doing pretty well for herself. She,
Oh.
yeah, uh, she's studying at a pretty good university in Germany right now.
Oh.
Hmm. And yeah,
Wait. I actually don't remember which field she was in.
computational biology sort of thing. She's
Yes. Yes.
interested in making simulations and stuff like that, I think, something like that.
Hmm.
Hmm. She also mm, majorly influenced my interest in academia.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was, yeah, I think we talked for a little. I mean, I was expecting it to be just like a half an hour call or something like that, but we ended up talking for like a little over 3 hours, I think. Mm, And it was nice. Uh, uh, she also asked about you guys, how you guys are doing. I, uh, uh, to, hmm, I told her that, I told her about Pranath, told her that, about Yash. He still listens to Bob Dylan, same as always. I said, oh, Desh, I started recording, doing a podcast with him. I, told him about that incident of yeah, me realizing that your mom listens to it. She said, "Oh, he's cute as always." प्रणत का मैंने बताया कि he now votes for BJP and reads self-help books. Her reaction was, "Oh, what happened to him? He was the cool guy." I said, "Things have changed." Uh, yeah, yeah, that was just that. Mm. Uh, I it was no, I did not feel anxious at all, which is good. Yeah, I mean that would have a year ago that would have been something that would make me utterly miserable.
That's nice to hear because, yeah, even like when you broke up, I never really talked to her
Mm,
because y- okay, you two were in relationship, but like I was still like I think closely involved in that kind of friendship,
mm,
and to be suddenly broken apart, it was even devastating for myself, and
mm.
I did not talk to her at all. Like after that, after you guys broke up, so I like it kind of felt it bad, but I was never really the one to keep up with everyone in the first place.
Yeah, and I will say that that was uh, probably. I mean, you know how miserable I was in my adolescence, right? The when we were like in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, especially like in 12th. Uh, and uh, that was a different kind of misery, but I wouldn't say I was really, uh, I don't know if I can say. I mean, in 12th, I was genuinely just depressed. I'm not sure if I could say the same about uh, the breakup, but I do often describe it as the lowest point in my life. And one thing good about is that I know that it cannot go any lower than that.
Hmm.
I mean, there's also something to experiencing that for the first time, right?
Hmm.
Mm. Uh, I mean, I'm not sure if this is something to talk about. One thing that I feel often gets ignored in situations like this is, like when someone breaks up with someone else, like, okay, this person who is heartbroken is like completely the victim of this horrible thing that happened to them, even though it might not have been somebody's fault. I mean, people just, there's nothing wrong with separation when it feels like the right thing to do. Uh, I feel that one thing that often gets ignored is the amount of guilt felt by the person who initiates the separation. I mean, I like, I don't know, like I feel that's something worth considering always. Yeah, like, okay, one of the most harrowing feelings in that situation is that you just had the rug pulled from under you. Like your whole life has fallen apart. Okay, you had no idea, you did not see this coming. The other person has had the luxury of maybe falling out of love with you, but you haven't had that luxury. You go from like 100 to 0 in a single moment, and you feel like there's uh, you feel like after sharing so many experiences and feelings for such a long time, it feels very weird and jarring that suddenly there's a disparity in how the two of you feel about something. Like you imagine the other person feeling content and uh, relaxed after that, and because of that moment, and that same moment is just pure misery to you, and that uh, disparity is very uncomfortable, the idea of that disparity. And uh, I feel that it also, uh, I mean, I'm just talking uh, from how it went on in my head, even though I did not, uh, I don't think uh, misbehaved in any way, but it does give you those malicious thoughts where you want the other person to somewhat feel even a fraction of what you're feeling. But yeah, and it's nice to realize that you've grown out of that. It was. Mm, mm,
Uh, even like I think I even if I was not involved in a relationship, I have seen you like develop over time and deal with it, and uh, like it has been sort of educational for myself in a way, and to see how you handle those situations.
Like one of the things I realized, like pretty soon, like just in a few months. I mean, that's quicker than I would have expected. Like, क्योंकि immediately after that, you just hoping that this just, you just want to go back in time. You just,
Hmm.
but one of the interesting experiences from that was, okay, this is uh, such a monumentous period in your life, and you monument, is that a word? That
Monumental.
I don't know. It's such a huge event. It's bound to change you in some ways, and uh, uh, I think, and personally, a lot of that what I experienced was uh, thinking about all the things that I might have done wrong,
Hmm.
and this like might have been less than perfect. I mean,
Hmm. Yeah, like one of the things I've noticed, good things about a relationship is that it makes people take responsibility for themselves and like be conscious of how they, like what the things they think and how they behave, because it affects more than one person now, their behavior.
I would say that I mean what you say can be true, but at the same time, it can just as well be the opposite. I mean, okay, uh, you're not, because you have backed a part. Like I'm talking about the thought process. This is not about how I think. But you have bagged a partner now and you start taking it for granted. You're not trying to impress anyone.
Like yeah, for a brief period I was in sort of an online relationship, and I kind of felt uh, what I was saying, that for the first time I am conscious about what I'm doing with my life, and how I'm keeping myself. And even for you, I remember seeing you change, uh, like
Hmm.
trying to improve and be better. So
Hmm.
like what you say might be, but like from the examples I've seen happen before. Like even for Pranat, I think he changed quite a lot after that
Honestly, I would say
relation.
his, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about his relationship without him present, but I do agree that I feel that his persona changed a lot. Uh,
Hmm.
we got into a relationship with Tiana. Uh, I also,
Uh,
yeah, the of feeling I was talking about just is just like after a few months I was looking back and uh, s- seeing the person I used to be, and I almost didn't recognize that person, and that is what uh, stopped me from feeling like it's um I want to go back. It didn't seem reasonable at all. Ah, it seems that you have to go deliver something. We'll be
yeah.
after a short, we'll be back after a short break. एक बार फिर से sync करना पड़ेगा ना?
Huh. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Six,
5,
five,
4,
four,
3,
three,
2,
two,
One.
One. Hmm. There's
Hmm.
a mythical cat in my house.
What do you mean mythical cat?
A cat I do not get to see. Where I have three roommates, right? उनमें से
हाँ.
एक has a cat.
Oh.
मैं यहाँ पे काफी महीने हो गए हैं, 7-8 महीने हो गए यहाँ रहते हुए. I have only seen that cat a few times. वो हमेशा कमरे के अंदर रहती है. And
Hmm.
like when she like I एक आध बार मैंने खिड़की से देखी है. गलती से उसकी खिड़की में बैठी रहती है कभी. And a few days ago I was रात को मैं लौट रहा था. I had a song stuck in my head. uh, Beatles का. uh, वो गाते गाते आ रहा था मैं. दरवाजे तक पहुंचा मैं. गा रहा था Sergeant Pepper's Lonely, Sergeant Pepper's Lonely. मैंने गेट खोला. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. मैं मस्त चिल्लाते हुए गा रहा था. तो गेट खुला तो मैंने देखा सामने किचन में मेरा रूममेट बैठा हुआ है. डिनर कर रहा है अपने छोटे से बोल अकेला. उसके बगल में नीचे फ्लोर पे शांति से एकदम पीसफुली बिल्ली बैठी हुई है. वो
Hmm.
बिल्ली और मेरा आई कांटेक्ट हुआ. मेरे रूममेट और मेरा आई कांटेक्ट हुआ. बिल्ली और मेरा वापस आई कांटेक्ट हुआ. 2 सेकंड तक वो आई कांटेक्ट मेंटेन रखा उस बिल्ली ने. फिर ऐसे धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ने लगी और दीवार से चिपकते हुए वापस उसके कमरे में भाग गई.
She or he. I mean, the cat seems socially awkward.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have much to explain. It's very shy. I
Hmm.
um yeah, I don't even remember the name or if it's a he or a she.
Do you not interact with your roommates like at
Uh,
all?
Not much, no.
Mm. Even like when I was in Kolkata, right? I did not interact with my roommates, but uh, until uh, one of the two roommates किसी का बर्थडे था एंड उनने अपने सारे दोस्तों को बुला लिया था वही हमारे फ्लैट में एंड दे कॉल्ड मी टू जॉइन देम एंड लाइक आई कुड नॉट रिफ्यूज वो घर पे ही कर रहे हैं बर्थडे सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं मना थोड़ी ना करूंगा मैं
Okay.
भी चला गया
Hmm.
एंड द वे दे सेलिब्रेटेड इट सीम्ड लाइक यू आई मीन जैसे तेको पता है स्कूल में कस्टम होता है कि हाउ यू सेलिब्रेट योर बर्थडे बच्चे को बुलाएंगे ताली मरवाएं थोड़ा बजवाएंगे हैप्पी बर्थडे गाएंगे फिर दैट kid has to bring toffees and he share मतलब gives every kid in the class a toffee वो एक कस्टम होता है बर्थडे सेलिब्रेट करने का
Mm-hmm.
वैसे ही उनका ऐसा लगा कि वो जो रूममेट्स थे और उनका पूरा ग्रुप था वो सारे टीसीएस के थे राइट
Hmm.
एंड उनका कस्टम था कि दे सेलिब्रेट बाय like sitting together in a circle and drinking drinking alcohol along with kurkure or some what they call chakna or stuff
That's not.
and maybe
Uh-huh.
huh
And maybe.
uh, like order food like one time they ordered pizza the other time they ordered biryani and that was their way of celebrating birthdays.
Uddu, that doesn't sound like a peculiar ritual for the celebration of birthdays. That just sounds like adulthood.
Huh? No, but it like there's something which tells you that they have done it many times,
I
right?
mean, that's what I would do if I was on. like if I was with my friends on a birthday,
Would you? Wait,
what
really?
what what do you what do you think I would do? What would you do?
पता नहीं. Play board game.
भाई वो तो रोज खेलता है तू.
हाँ. So what?
बर्थडे पे
I
क्या
mean, board.
करेगा?
नहीं, like birthday is a reason for get together, right?
हाँ
And
हाँ.
what better thing to do than to play board games when
Drinking.
you're together? I don't drink, so that is out of question.
तू गोले में बैठ के बोर्ड गेम्स खेल. I just enjoy having conversations with my friends. I was actually talking with who about it recently about like how hopeless everything feels when you're an adolescent, and we're talking about how you get out of it. I mean, it was also we were also talking in uh, context of politics somehow, but that's unimportant. Uh,
Hmm.
he was uh, like talking about like he, uh, um, I don't exactly remember what he said, but he talked something about like uh, beginning to care about what is happening in the world and like, all that stuff. Uh, I said that like pers personally for me that uh, 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 ex what sort of like gave any they I'm sure you even experienced a feeling okay adolescence mein life feels very meaningless and that's very depressing and uh, I I said my way out of that was uh, beginning to care about the people immediately around me, finding joy in their company. Uh, yeah. Do you have anything in mind that like keeps you going?
Mm, not but I guess I do. I have started more connecting more with the people around me, but I don't think it was an active decision I made, like you say. Like I did not actively try to connect with the people around me. It just happened naturally over time, as
Mm,
I may
no, maybe it was it
be.
as a decision नहीं कह रहा हूँ. I was just talking mostly about the transition of how I went, perhaps went from like utter meaningless to feeling like some things matter.
Hmm. I think the biggest thing which uh, influenced was I stopped thinking about it. Like I used to be really existential as a teenager, but
Hmm.
after a point, I just completely stopped thinking about those things. Like I wouldn't actively avoid it, but just not think about it at all. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, I get that. That's true
because
too.
like I think at some point I realized that uh, as much as I try to pursue the answers to those questions, there really aren't any conclusive answers to it. Like I was satisfied with my own exploration for those questions, and I was pretty confident that okay, there does there doesn't seem to be any conclusive answers to these questions, so it's not really worth it getting worked up about it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like that was the major thing which changed about my way of thinking.
Yeah, it's. I think it's about time we start talking about the media we consumed. Um,
Yeah.
I didn't watch a lot of films, but I watched a few really good films. The 400 Blows is an old French film from 1959. Yeah, you remember me talking about Udan?
Yeah.
I really like that movie. Udan took huge inspiration from this film, and I can see the inspiration. One of my concerns going into this film was, maybe I'll realize that Udan doesn't have anything of its own to offer, and the concern was there because I really liked Udan. But I, I was uh,
Just a second.
uh,
There seems to be some noise when suddenly, like it wasn't there before, but suddenly when you're speaking, there is some static noise coming.
um, मतलब
Oh,
कितनी
it's
देर?
gone.
Okay,
It's it was just there for a second. Okay.
okay. So yeah, I was sat like content with how uh, Uran is its own thing. And this film is still about a kid growing up in um, a certain environment, like uski family being a certain way. And one of the interesting things that it does is the nuance it provides without having to succumb to ambiguity. By that I mean like a moral gray area sort of thing. That's something films do a lot. Ki, okay, not people aren't horrible. There's always a gray area, stuff like that. But it provides that nuance while still showing you that people can be not very good. Like it shows that through the adults around this kid, especially his parents, they like constantly oscillate between uh, caring sometimes and sometimes just being shit. And that I would say that kind of felt like a very apt representation of reality. Because you cannot just um, let go of the horrible things, the times when they do people do act nicely around you. It in fact I would say that it hammers in the point even more that how much this oscillation is representative of incompetence.
Mm, how so?
But you are not that uh, especially in a position such as a parent where you are the supervisor of the growth of this person, and you are so easily swayed by how you're feeling in the moment, and uh, your behaviors shift so regularly around your child, and you're it's this means that you're not always doing what's best for the child, right?
Mm.
You're just doing what you feel like. uh yeah, it was a good film. Was case, man. I watched another film about children. This was a nice Children of Heaven. This is an Iranian film, I think. Wait, let me check. Yeah, it's an Iranian film. This, I mean, Iranian. I have watched another Iranian films about children, and they really seem to have perfected the perspective of children. Like a lot of these try to show you how some of these try to show you how dismissive adults can be of like children who are not even adolescents, like these like just because they're children, and it these films show you pretty well that they too have complex thoughts and emotions just like any other human. the this is a nice little story about a child, a guy, a small guy, uh, uh, losing his sister's shoes, and like he doesn't want his father to find out, so they just share this. When they have to go to the school, they share the shoes. Like the girl goes to her school first, फिर खत्म हो रही होती है तो they she gives the shoes to the brother who's always late because of that.
mm.
It's a nice story. I liked it. And uh, a film I really enjoyed that I watched yesterday is a Pakistani film from 2022, Joyland.
I'm quite excited to hear your thoughts about it because you said you felt quite emotional after watching this film.
When did I? Oh, I texted you, right? I forgot.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Yeah, I um. So there's a lot of like the film is very much about uh, LGBTQ relationships, queer relationships and stuff like that. There's trans characters in it, and it I honestly won't try to describe what happens in the film to you. Okay, it's a thing to experience, but it uh, sort of subverts the expectation by not romanticizing uh, the queer relationships too much, and showing you that they are just like any other relationship. There can be horrible consequences to them, and that humanizes queer relationships in a very unique way.
Is this the first time that you have rated a film full 5 stars? Because I
It's
don't think I've seen you before rate a
it's
film.
very rare for me to give that rating to films. I would say that there's like some of these are shows. एक minute, let me see. Mm, एक minute, मुझे देखने दे. 16 films which I've rated 5 stars. Mm,
Hmm. You
yeah.
have seen a quite a lot of films, haven't you?
Yeah, that's one of my main hobbies, I would say.
Do you have the count of like approximately the total number of films you have watched?
I cannot talk about the total films I watched क्योंकि Letterboxd पे even though I've tried to uh, log as many films that I had watched before, Uh,
Hmm.
uh, I started using Letterboxd. I like completely did not uh, put on put any Bollywood films I had watched on there. That just seemed like too much work. I
Hmm.
तो like considering that उसके अलावा अभी there are 949 films logged
Oh.
on my
Hmm.
letterbox. Hmm.
About to reach the 1000 mark.
36 हो गई है इस साल.
Hmm.
Yeah. Those were all the films I watched. What's Lead Code?
Wait, did you talk about All We Imagine as Light?
That is a film I rewatched with Samiksha.
Okay.
This is a Malayalam film. I think I might have already talked about it on the podcast. I wanted to watch it. It is a film uh, around uh, women and the relationships women have with other women. Uh,
Hmm.
and it's a very well made film. It is the first Indian film to win uh, Palme d'Or, which is like at the Cannes Film Festival, which is the equivalent of like the best film. Uh,
Have you been like, haven't you been watching a lot of films related to like queer or LGBTQ related media for a while?
I think you might be referring to uh, feminist media, right? Because I
Not
was writing
not
an essay.
specifically not specifically feminist, but like uh, I think even in last few podcasts you talked about media related to queer relationships. Oh no, wait, you went to that queer uh, bar. What it's called?
Queer, a drag show.
Yeah, drag show.
Yeah, it is a culture I'm really interested in. Yes.
And even the story you were writing, it was about that old lady who was a lesbian.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was writing on a screenplay like that. Badnaam Basanti.
But now wasn't.
Um, yeah. I, yeah, I wouldn't say that I've been going out of my way to watch a lot of queer media, but I would like to at some point. But yeah, uh, I do plan on watching another queer film from India from the 90s. It's called Fire.
Hmm.
I'll tell you about it when
Okay.
I watch it.
Hmm. Talking about lead code, so it's a word which will like if there's a computer science student sleeping peacefully
Hmm.
and you just go near him and whisper lead code, he might he just might wake up with a cold sweat.
What?
Yes.
What, what the hell is lead code? I've never heard this word before.
Lead code is a website for like the most acclaimed website for interview questions related to programming, for practicing interview questions related to programming. So, like, if you are in the computer science field and you are looking for the job, the biggest factor is how much you have practiced on lead code,
Hmm.
uh, in determining if you could crack the company. And students really fear it because the questions are related to algorithms and it is not everyone's cup of tea. It's like maths, right?
Mm,
Either you are good at it or you might be afraid of it because it's difficult. It's very similar to maths.
mm,
Uh, yeah. So that's why like you will hear quite polarizing opinion when you ask CS students about it, uh, because uh, like even in my college, uh, there were not many students who would practice it, and even if they did, they will have a really bad like experience trying to engage with it.
mm,
That's what I heard from my friends. Varun has been trying to practice not lead code in particular, but like algorithm in general, because he's uh, wanting to leave his current company and join another one. Uh, he's doing well, I guess.
mm,
And the reason I included this lead code section is because I told you right, for a while I've been trying to get back into practicing
mm.
algorithms,
Yeah.
and but like the way I used to practice algorithms was I wouldn't like pick a particular site. I would practice from wherever. कि कोई पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक अच्छा लगा मेरे को कि इस पे मेरे को करना है, तो जहाँ भी क्वेश्चन मिल रहा है, जहाँ पे थ्योरी या ये इवन नॉट दैट, मेरा मेन तरीका तो कॉन्टेस्ट देख ही था, जो ऑनलाइन कॉन्टेस्ट होता है हर 2 दिन में, उनको देख के और जो क्वेश्चन नहीं बना उससे रिलेटेड फिर टॉपिक में और अंदर तक जाना. दैट वाज माय अप्रोच. बट व्हाट आई रियलाइज्ड वाज दैट मेथड वाज क्वाइट कमिटल, कि मेरे को कॉन्टेस्ट के लिए पहले बात तो टाइम निकालना पड़ेगा, कि वो 2.5-3 घंटे के कॉन्टेस्ट होता है, और यू हैव टू स्पेंड लाइक गेट दैट टाइम एंड स्पेंड इट. एंड ऊपर से इट वाज क्वाइट स्ट्रेसफुल, जो कॉन्टेस्ट है वो दे आर रियली स्ट्रेसफुल. And if you don't have the momentum कि continuously you are practicing and fresh about it, it quite be can be quite frustrating if you don't perform well, because उसमें तुम्हारी rating नीचे चले आती है. So that was the reason that whenever I would start doing uh, getting into it, I would leave it out of frustration, or like passively try to avoid it because of the stress and all. So this is the second, like a new approach I decided to go about it is I would not give contests. I would just practice questions, and in particular लीड कोड में 3 डिफिकल्टीज होती है क्वेश्चंस की: इजी, मीडियम एंड हार्ड. एंड I mostly practiced medium difficulty questions. About 70 questions I had solved, but I noticed that ki I'm now at a stage that I'm comfortable in being able to solve hard difficulty questions. I had solved about 13 questions at the time, and I noticed that in total there are about 800 questions, hard difficulty questions present on the website. So I took a decision, not a decision, but like I set a goal for myself that I will solve every single hard difficulty question present on the website.
कितनी देर में?
I didn't set a deadline. I will just keep doing it until I reach that goal.
Hmm.
And in 3 days, I was able to solve 5 questions. So like currently I'm at 18 questions. उसके बाद अभी मैं बाहर चला गया था, तो I was not able to solve questions in that time. But generally एक क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करने से में 1 से 2 दिन लगता है मेरे को.
एक
समटाइम्स
से
अगर वो
दो
मेरे
दिन
यस,
Hmm.
अगर जैसे अभी कोई क्वेश्चन मेरे को बनता है, देन इट माइट टेक एज लेस एज लाइक हाफ एन आवर. बट अभी जैसे जो करंट क्वेश्चन में अटका हूँ, इट हैज टेकन मी like 3 days and running. Like I still haven't solved it even after 3 days. So
Hmm.
या तो वही है कि लाइक इजी मीडियम तो ठीक है अपने, बट हार्ड जो है उसमें काफी बड़ा स्पेक्ट्रम है। लाइक देयर आर इजी हार्ड क्वेश्चंस एंड देयर आर हार्ड क्वेश्चंस, लाइक दे आर रियली हार्ड। सो द टाइम may vary upon each question.
Hmm.
And I guess I'll keep updating you on every
अभी कितने कर
podcast में
दिए
progress.
तूने?
18.
Oh, that's a lot.
No, but not 18. I had already solved 13 before I took on this goal. So I only solved 5 uh,
Hmm.
after taking on this goal.
Yeah, that's still a lot.
I have to solve 800 questions. It is a long journey ahead.
परसों तक कर देगा तू.
There is one caveat to it though, कि कुछ questions है which they have logged behind a subscription. Like there's a LeetCode premium, and they won't let you see or solve the questions unless you have bought that subscription. I guess I'll just skip over them for now, and like at the end I will decide if I want to take the step to buy the premium just so I can fully complete this goal.
Hmm. कितने questions free हैं?
आई थिंक मतलब 90% फ्री है, बस 10% कुछ है जो उन्हें लॉक करके रखे हैं, एंड दे आर लॉक्ड बिकॉज दे आर द मोस्ट फ्रीक्वेंटली आस्क्ड क्वेश्चंस इन companies like Google and Microsoft, so they have locked it behind subscription with
क्या
that.
बदतमीजी है.
Exactly right. It's quite scummy, but yeah, I'll see at the end when they are the only left.
Hmm. I also sort of played a game uh, this weekend. Uh, hmm, man, I just wanna go home.
Oh, what is this game?
It's
It
a
sounds quite interesting.
it's a small visual novel. Um, and it's a game made in MS Paint.
Game made in MS Paint. Oh wow, that looks so cool actually.
It does look very good. Uh, I like this is not a particularly popular game. One of the people follow uh, on Blue Sky, they like talked about the game. Uh, एक tweet man, I looked it up and it looked interesting, so I played it. But this is not, and it's only $2. But it looks quite cool, and it made me like think about something. I mean, it's an okay visual novel. The idea is कि it's raining, uh, बहुत ज़्यादा, तो you are in a particular part of the city, you cannot go home conveniently. मैं बस कैब बुलाने के पैसे नहीं हैं. Stuff is something like as you go through, take different paths in the visual novel, you realize that something is happening on this night in this area, and you uncover more and more by choosing different paths, which is a cool way to do world building, I guess. Uh,
Hmm.
uh, it's okay, but like the art and the music is pretty cool. I would like after this, I would recommend you look at its like little teaser. It's a really
Hmm.
well made, nice little teaser with the music. Uh,
Is it animated like the
yeah,
rain
it's
and stuff?
animated. It's like,
Oh wow.
it has a really uh great visual style. It's very stylish. It made me think about if the do you think it's true like we live in the age of internet जहाँ पर people can easily share their stuff. Right. There are lots of artists who are constantly sharing their art on the internet, and a lot of amazing art.
Hmm.
Do you feel like we have begun to sort of take it for granted?
I do think, yes, uh, considering how क्या बोलेंगे widespread it is getting, the accessibility to do art, like digital art and stuff, and how like this been set, like a standard has been set, right? Because if you think about drawing in a paper and using pencil and stuff, people won't judge you no matter how bad your drawing might look, because generally uh, your like your art style will be representing your own unique way of drawing, right? And there is no set standard how this should look or this should look, right? Whatever you draw on paper, uh, you will be appreciated for it. But for digital art, I think there is a sort of standard has been set कि हाँ कोई game है तो this it should like look this smooth and clean and एकदम perfect दिखना चाहिए उसका, and a particular style of art is would might be considered superior to some other style of art. Yeah, I do think we have started to take it for granted.
Like when we look at art now, we like ah, it's so easy to forget about all the vision and the hard work that probably went behind that piece.
Exactly, and the one thing like which
It's it's bab.
particularly I
Mm,
find annoying is like the art, like the old school video gaming art that used to be there, like in Undertale and in similar games. You don't see that very often nowadays. You see that cleanly drawn, uh, sort of
mm-hmm.
like those type of art is uh, not done a lot because it doesn't attract a lot of audience anymore.
It doesn't seem impressive. I guess there's more of a focus. Maybe I'm not sure. I'm just talking out of my ass right now. But do you think it's a possibility that people focus more on uh, making something impressive than uh,
Uh,
wanting to just
yeah,
make
like
something they want to
yeah, like you remember we played Terraria, which had that kind of art. It was like so nice playing that game
make?
simply because of how the whole world seemed, and
Because because it really baffles me to look at a game like Man, I Wanna Go Home. It's not the greatest game in the world, but just looking at its art, it baffles me to think about how this is not the most popular thing in the world.
yeah. Hmm. I don't know exactly what could be done about this, because like it's a good thing so many people are trying to express their creative
Mm.
ideas.
Uh,
But when a lot of people do this, of course, it would result in uh, like this happening, this kind of games going unnoticed and less appreciated.
I don't think that anybody is to blame here. It's just
Hmm.
sad, sort of. The best you can do is yourself. Try to be more appreciative of what you come across. I mean, Uh, yeah, I mean, it's just a change in culture. Nobody's to blame for that.
I would like to play some adventure RPG. I have not played those games for a while now.
Now, what do you have in mind when you say adventure RPG?
I don't have any particular game, but like uh, those dungeon crawlers type of games. There used to be a lot of it.
Spelunky?
Uh, Spelunky?
That's a game, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a Spelunky is a really popular game. It's about spelunking.
But I'm not talking about these kind of games which are more focused on what to say, platformer aspect of it. I am more looking for the immersion kind of games like Undertale and like which has a story and proper
I
world building.
I mean, I wish you had a better laptop right now, Ricky. I would love to play Baldur's Gate with you. Like I I feel like you would like that game. It's not even that I don't think you'll have to buy that game if like
Hmm.
that's a problem. Because the Steam family sharing feature that's been huge for sharing games.
Hmm. That will have to wait for now.
Yeah,
वरुण भी मेरे को अभी कल परसों बोल रहा था एक गेम के लिए Zenless Zone Zero which he really wants me to play but it won't run.
yeah.
Like even if it ran it I don't have the space for it.
Hmm. Should we talk
Then
about? Huh?
no, go
Yeah.
on, go on.
I was just gonna move on. Do you have anything to say?
No, I don't.
Okay. Uh, should we talk about the board games, the new board games we played? B.
Yes, yes.
Uh, I I guess we played Pandemic out of desperation to not hate each other.
I don't know what happened within that game. The first time we played it, it seemed unusually easy.
Yeah,
Like we cleared it and it didn't even feel like an accomplishment. It just felt like, oh, we won. But
अभी
the next time, yeah.
I mean, I was just trying to give a background to जिससे पहले तो उसके बारे में बात करने लग जाए.
हाँ हाँ
I just
बता
get
बता.
like we have been playing mostly competitive games abhi tak, uh, and we just like somebody has to win and others have to lose, and you just uh, I mean, if you're losing, I mean, it's natural to not feel very good after that. So,
Wait, I just realized something. Okay, you finish and then I will say.
this was the first co-op game that we tried. That's how I was saying.
Talking about co-op game, didn't we try Let's Go to Japan for the same reason that it would be a co-op game?
No, we knew that it would be competitive, but it won't be.
Oh.
Yeah, no, It isn't really competitive per se. You know, you don't hate each other after this. That you, it's still a relaxing game.
Hmm.
Why do
We
you have
haven't played enough.
what the hell?
We have not played it enough to
There's less
say
of
what.
opportunity to sabotage each other उसमें, so you don't hate each other as much.
I really want to play that game few more times because I think starting के दो गेम में सिर्फ समझने में ही चला गया.
आई
I
थिंक मैं
was
अभी
not
भूल
in.
भी गया हूँ कि उसमें कैसे खेलते हैं। मगर yeah, let's talk about pandemic.
Mm. So, like as I said, the first time we played it, it seemed oddly easy.
Yeah,
हमारा गोल होता है. Yeah.
hmm,
Should I like give a brief explanation of what the game is about?
sure, sure.
So, like we have a view of the global map, world map, and uh, multiple disease अलग अलग parts of the world में spread हो रही है, and basically we have to cure it, cure all the diseases and prevent it from spreading. Uh, that's basically the main goal of the game. Now उसमें cards होते हैं and we have our own roles which we can utilize to do so. Yeah, it's a cooperative game. Like हमको अपने अपने roles का use करके we have to strategize कि किसको क्या करना है. Like if there's a disease spreading in a particular part of the world, then we would want to send one of our members to that area so that they can cure uh,
Hmm.
and stop the spread of the disease.
Yeah. So it's हम लोगों ने पहली बार खेला था ये with just you, me, and Varun, and it mm, wasn't that difficult, at least go round. And I'm not sure if it was because players increased the gameplay changes डिफिकल्ट ज़्यादा क्यों हो गया था. इट्स पॉसिबल कि लकीली हमारा पहला तीन वाला गेम इट वाज जस्ट हैपन टू बी इजी क्योंकि रैंडमली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड रहती हैं चीज़ें.
हाँ.
बट या हम लोगों ने दो तीन बार खेला उसके बाद चार प्लेयर्स में विद सम एक्स्ट्रा एंड वी लॉस्ट एवरी टाइम.
And like we lost very badly. I think ऐसा लग रहा था कि there was no scope that we would win. It like totally spiraled out of control both of the times.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I was actually like sort of I had in mind what I had in mind कि पहली बार खेलने के बाद like let's not play this game too much. This game seems like a great introduction to people who aren't that familiar with board games. So it's a nice bait.
I think that backfired.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it backfired, but we definitely should play. Like that game deserves to be played a little more. That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
like I was expecting कि ठीक है समीक्षा join कर रही है, she's a new player. Uh, because we have played it, it might uh, make it easy for her because it's a cooperative game. There won't be any pressure on her. I think the exact opposite happened because we were losing so badly. I think, over strategizing and trying to understand what we are doing wrong. And because I was trying to over strategize, I was like trying to take more control of what she was going to do and what she should do. Like even you start like told me not to do that, right?
I mean,
To
yeah,
let her
that's
figure out.
something we, I guess, always need to be careful about. Because if we are inviting somebody to play games like, who doesn't know much about the game, we obviously know more about the game than they do, and feel more confident about it than they do. So
Hmm.
it's like we can argue among each other
Hmm.
to like influence each other's decision. But if we do that to a new player, they would just feel like succumbing to it each time. Like they will feel like they have no choice because they don't understand the game right now.
I was quite torn like by this. Like, on one side, like you're absolutely correct कि उनको we should not बताने सीधे बताना नहीं उनको कि try let them figure it out on their own. But at the same time, uh, I also wanted to like win and at least like even if we lose, I want it to be satisfactory lose. Ki, okay, it would have could have gone
Okay,
better.
but
These were the mistakes we made, but it is okay because we have a new player and this is part of weakness. I did not understand what was going wrong. I had no idea what we were doing wrong.
I think also there's a difference in like trying to discuss something like like engaging in a discussion and uh, engaging in sort of an argument which is more valid for people who are already experienced. I mean, if there's fun to be had in arguments, yes.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Uh, yeah.
I guess it also there was an aspect of embarrassment. Ki like you introduce a new player to a game and then uh, when as soon as they enter the game there is total chaos going on and none of the players understand what is happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Because as a new player you would want कि हाँ ये लोग खेल चुके game, they would guide you कि what you should do and then everything will go right.
Hmm.
But they are just as confused as you are.
Hmm. 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 Yeah, I can see that. Uh, is that it about pandemic? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Let's Go to Japan. Yes. What do you have to say about that game?
It is a game which I think I can min max. And when I say min max, I mean
When
I
you say,
want
I'll
like
tell
it
you when
feels
you say min max. When you say min max, I don't feel like playing with you anymore.
like there seems to be okay, there are certain games which you have a lot of choice in and it makes it really difficult to play the perfect game. Like when I say a perfect game is that is when you make the objectively right decision in every point of decision you had. That would be a perfect game, right?
Hmm.
Even if you lose, it would be due to your bad luck. It won't be due to bad play. So, like the games like Ticket to Ride, I do not that it is one of those games that I do not think can be min maxed, or like it would be really difficult to min max because of the sheer amount of choices you have and the even the aspect of randomness makes it really difficult to find out the objectively right decision at any point of time. But I think in uh, this game, uh, Japan, let's go
Hmm.
to Japan. It feels like it is you generally only have 3 to 4 cards, right?
Hmm.
And I think if you like play it enough or like understand the game enough, it is possible to play the perfect game every single time. And that is like a really fun thing for me to do for games. That is actually I think that is one of the reasons I really like Parudo as well, because I feel like it is at least when there are more than 2 players on the board, it feels like I can objectively say that the bet I am putting or the decision I am making is the most logical decision. As soon as it gets in 2 players, all of my logic goes out of out into chaos. Like it doesn't matter anymore. That is a frustrating aspect of it.
You
Uh,
I can see you like I can see you visibly crumbling as soon as you have to make a gamble.
Yes. Even like when I have to make a gamble, I try to like find that one thing which would might give me and a feeling that I am making the right decision. I just when I have to make a 50-50, that is the worst feeling for me. Like I want to feel that the decision I made was the right decision, even if it gets me like loses me a die.
Yeah.
When I am left feeling like there was maybe some information I could have used or some strategy which would have increased my chances, but I don't know what I did wrong. That is quite frustrating for me.
Mm.
And when there are two players, every single like play is confrontational, and like you have to make a difficult decision. Like, do you call Kalza? Do you call Perudo? Not yeah, nahi, what Dudo? I mean, what bet you place? Should you lie? Should you tell the truth? Should you believe your opponent? Should you doubt your opponent? Should you think about what your opponent did? Should you think about how evil is your opponent in general?
I see why you feel that way about uh uh, uh what was the game? Let's go to Japan. It does seem like it has very limited choices. But जिस दिन तू मेरे सामने notebook लेके बैठा गेम खेलना है, I'll stop playing with you also.
By the way, did you know I used to play Secret Hitler with a notebook?
What the
I used to
fuck?
note. Yes, I told Varun about it, and he used to start like after I told him he used to do it, also do it. I would note down behavior of each and every person on everything they said, and like put points on if they are trustworthy or if they have been suspicious throughout the game. Like, I wait, I might have it right now. Oh yes, I do. I will take a photo and send you. Just a second.
Hmm. We should play Secret Hitler again sometime. Yeah. I can see the I used to like it was not a social reduction game. I sort of used to do that when I was playing Cluedo बचपन में.
Mm.
Like
I sent
make
you on
like
WhatsApp.
too many notes. I can honestly see the appeal of doing that. Baap re, what the fuck?
I take games too seriously, man.
I should maybe try doing this with Secret Hitler. I don't know how valuable it will be, but I honestly don't think that it would be that valuable because from what, as far as I know, I mostly uh, I remember most of the things that happen within the game, and like I usually the joy I find is in the arguments and
Mm.
manipulation.
Like the main use of it is like making the deduction that who might be the Hitler or who are the fascists. Uh,
I mean, how did you account for someone like Vidhu with that?
I think yeah, he confused me a lot.
Okay, one final question I want to ask you before we end the podcast today. Do you feel that at this point, out of the board games you have played, are there any board games you would like to have the physical copy of?
Hmm. I think Catan feels like a game I would like to have a physical copy. Like play physically.
Hmm.
Catan, same. It would be fun.
I can see that.
Not train to ride. Train to ride does not seem like a
Ticket to
game.
ride.
Yeah, ticket to ride. It would be fun. That was different
Hmm.
playing physically. Even that Heat game. I think it would be quite fun playing physically on a board.
Heat, I like. I really like how it looks and even like how the game functions and plays, but I really do not like how playing it feels like in a social setting. It's so
Yeah,
like,
it is. I think it is another game which can be min maxed. Uh,
and it's
yeah.
just like I was talking about how like it does not like what I love about Catan is how much it like they in it promotes conversations in a very interesting way through trades, which I really like about the game. And um, yeah, there's I I'm not sure what game I would like to have. Like definitely not something like let's go to Japan. Even though that game looks all right, it's like too many calculations for scoring.
Yeah. Also, there is not much interaction in that game, as far as I
Yeah,
can see.
yeah. That's true. That's
And
true.
if you're playing a board game, the whole point is you interact with others. Uh,
Yeah, that's a huge factor for me too. What about Pandemic? That's a pretty bold too, but I haven't played it enough to. But it feels too.
I wonder how it would be to play Secret Hitler in person.
I think yeah, that's what I was actually leaning towards right now. Okay, out of all the board games, the one that I would like to play with a physical copy is Secret Hitler.
It would. I think it would be the most stressful game out of all to play physically.
Yeah,
Uh, and
I wouldn't call it stressful, but it will be fun, I guess.
just a second, I'll be back.
Hmm.
Huh.
Um, yeah, that's Secret Hitler के भी cards are really pretty in the box. Um,
We played that Seven Wonders game. उसके cards भी काफी अच्छे थे. Although I did not like the game from the times we played
yeah,
it.
I would say Pan. I mean, pretty much most of the board games we have played abhi tak look very pretty.
Hmm. Wait, now that I think about it, we have not played that many board games.
Yeah, yeah. Abhi
Like
recently
as
we
much
have.
as I would,
Uh-huh.
हमें almost 3 months हो चुके हैं, right? हमें start करे हुए, or 2 months maybe.
Yeah.
But like I would expect कि हम बहुत सारे games खेल चुके होते अभी तक, but it's quite surprising that हमने इतने limited ही games खेले हैं अभी तक.
Hmm. No, I'm not sure. We sort of fell into the like comfort zone of like playing games, and we already know the rules of. It feels like too much effort to learn new rules. I want to like in a month or two. I want to start playing some of the more difficult games.
The problem I saw with difficult games is mm, if then we cannot have more people involved
I mean,
because of
it's
the learning curve.
more. I mean, those difficult games already just usually they have a pretty small player count. And I do have that in mind, but it's most of the time it's you, me, and Varun playing anyway.
I think the biggest factor which makes a game fun for me was how immersive it is. Like kind of like Ticket to Ride and uh, Catan particularly seem quite immersive in their own way because like you're putting those railway tracks connecting cities. It's quite visually appealing. Even in Catan, you're building cities and that stuff. But when we played Seven Wonders and that, you remember that Souls? What was that game? Dead Cells.
Hmm.
It did not seem like intuitive, visually intuitive. It felt like it. Okay, you just follow the rules and try to get a high score. Like I like to have a clear visual of what is happening in the game at any moment.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh fuck. We did not talk about Katanka expansion pack. I guess we'll talk about it in the next podcast, Yuki. I have to leave for the class, Abhi. So let's end the podcast.
Okay then.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.